gets up my head the way it is written.
Talk a little bit about
I know this one.
how you got to go hunting for a moose in Saskatchewan, where you got drawn.
In Saskatchewan, you're on a draw system where they have pools that run Super A through D. Now, just because you get into the Super A pool does not mean you're automatically guaranteed a draw. They had to create what they call a legacy pool, where if you spend 10 years in Super A, then you're pretty much guaranteed a spot once you get into Legacy. This has been happening for a couple of years, and they're already finding that just because you're in Legacy, you're not automatically getting drawn. Well, I was incredibly lucky after I think only my third year in Super A to be drawn for bull moose tag in my zone here, which is in south central Saskatchewan. We have no shortage of moose in this area. I scouted all summer long, saw some great looking bulls, quite a bit bigger than this actually, including right up until less than a week before the season started. I had one not even a mile from here.
Then we couldn't find them at all.
Yeah, where, you know, I saw him in the same spot a couple of times with some cows, and I was convinced I'd be able to find him. So I managed to see him with his cows right up until just before the season started. And the way my season worked out was I only really had one day off of work to go and try and get my bull moose before it was back to work. And the following weekend we were actually going about 4 hours away because Melissa got drawn for pronghorn antelope as well. So that combined with the temperature from the day after I was going out hunting, the temperature was going to jump to 14 degrees Celsius. When you're processing an animal this size and you're spending as much time getting its skin gutted, everything, it's just it's a massive job. I mean, really, that was my only day to hunt. If I didn't get it done that day and was able to take the full day to get everything else processed, it just wasn't going to happen. Just too much work. We went out that morning, and of course, it was busy. There were hunters in the fields everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
There were, you know, posted lands we had permission where there was vehicle tracks all around every bush. We were out first light, and there was already vehicle tracks circling every bush before, and we were out literally at first shooting light. So it's a bit of a problem in Saskatchewan. We always get permission no matter what. This isn't a really big deal to us. You know, hunting before light, after legal light, we've run into it a lot out here.
Well, there were those guys with that really nice big moose there that was all strung up and halfway gutted, and it was barely past legal light.
Yeah, there's absolutely no way. Yeah,
they had trackers out in the field and everything.
We passed by a group of hunters out in the field literally 5 minutes after legal light. They already had a tractor out to where they had shot this moose. He was up, strung up, and half gutted 5 minutes after legal light. We drove around a fair amount that morning for the first couple hours. Saw a few cows, but not really seeing much for any of the bulls. Checked the spot where I had seen the really nice one leading up to hunting season, and he was gone. He was nowhere to be found. There's a good chance that the one we actually saw the hunters have strung up was him. So when 2 hours in, we caught this bull along with a smaller, younger bull. You know, I hesitated for a second, you know, just looking because I'd seen some really nice bulls around. But ultimately, the whole point was to fill the freezer anyway. And like I said, given that I only had the one day to really hunt that I was comfortable with, I decided to take him. And we managed to put him down, and between Melissa and I, we hoisted him onto a trailer
Oh, man.
using a hand winch and some straps and
A little bit of elbow grease I didn't realize I had.
and basically turning my trailer into a tilting trailer when it's not a tilting trailer. But it worked, and once we got it back to the yard, our neighbor was nice enough to lend us his tractor so that we can get him strung up. And if we didn't have that, like, we have a tractor here ourselves, but it's an old tractor, does not like to start in the winter time. And I'm also trying to get the loader rebuilt on it. Needs new cylinders and everything. So he was nice enough to lend us his tractor, which made the job so much quicker. And basically my bull moose hunting season, which Could be the last one I get in this area for a very long time.
Please stop.
Lasted all of, well, if you count the time to skin him out, I think we were back from dropping him off the butcher at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This one, I figure he's probably about a 3-year-old bull. So which again, if you're hunting for meat, which we primarily are, that's what you want. Yeah, you get the older, bigger bulls, and they're a little bit gamier, they're tougher. So yeah, this one is it was a great bull to get. Considering it's a pretty rare tag for Saskatchewan, I decided I'd like to remember all my hunts, and I've got, I don't know if you can see in the background, I've got one of my whitetails up and a few other things hanging around, so I decided to take this to a place called T&T Euro Mounts. It's fairly local here, and he cleaned it all up and used dermestid beetles to do what's called a Euro mount for me. So I'm just currently waiting for him to get me a wall mount hook that his supplier was just behind on, so he's going to mail that out to me, and then we can get this mounted up on the wall.
And we used the butcher in Davidson. How much meat did we get back? Do you remember? And we got every cut in the book.
We came back with just shy of 350 pounds of actual boxed up meat. Now, I remember when I dropped him off, skinned, head off, gutted, he came in at 490 some pounds.
He was just shy of 5.
And we got back actual meat in the 300. So we are up to our ears in ground moose, which we're trying to get our pigs butchered here so that we can get some sausage done up with the moose ground. And we got 3 boxes of steaks.
What? We really needed the meat too. If our freezer was full, and like if I were to get drawn next year for some reason for moose, I think we would be pickier because our freezers are still quite full and will hopefully still be quite full then. So we would be pickier, I think, and maybe not even fill a tag. But this year our freezer was empty of meat. We were doing all of our meat store-bought, so we really wanted to fill the freezer up and get as much non-commercial meat in the freezer as we could. So we filled all of our tags this year.
Thanks for tuning in for another episode. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Follow us on Instagram at SteadfastFarmCA. Visit our website and sign up to receive notifications on new blog posts, www.steadfastfarm.ca. Make sure to check out our featured channels. We absolutely love to watch these and hope you will too. Also, thanks to bensound.com for our music tracks. See you again next time.